Hey BBs, it's Plastic and today I'm back with y'all for another video. How are we all doing today? Hope we're all doing really fierce. In today's video, we're sitting down, we're ghoul chatting, and we're talking about the Monster High movie 2. This is the movie that came out this year. It was kind of the sequel to the Monster High first live action movie. And it was a really fun movie. I watched it probably like 15 times already. I'm gonna say that I'm a biased Monster High stan. So if you're looking for a lot of negativity, you won't find much in this video. I will have some cons later on, but mostly I was just excited to be a part of the experience. I love Miss Monster High. But yeah, the movie, watch it before y'all get into this video, before we ghoul chat and talk, because I'll probably be spoiling things. I'll probably be like going too much into detail. So just as a safe bet, if you don't want any spoilers, and if you haven't watched the movie yet, go check it out. The movie is only like an hour and a half long. It's like a Nickelodeon movie. It's not super hard to find. You can get the free Paramount Plus trial. You can watch it on Nickelodeon. Y'all can watch it on Prime, YouTube, like if you like buy it, whatever, in some places. It's a really good movie, and I don't think you'll regret watching it. So just again, before this video gets too much into anything, go watch the movie, and I will be probably biased because I am a Monster High fan. But I like this movie. Again, I watched it a couple times already, but I watched it last night again just to kind of prepare for this ghoul chat because I wanted to talk about it. I know I'm a little bit late to the whole conversation, but I don't know, like, it's just been, like, a movie that's heavy on my mind, and I feel like I haven't really had too many final thoughts until, like, now. And when I watched the movie for the second time, I kind of picked out some things that I didn't, like, love like I did the first couple times, but, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I don't think it's horrible. Again, I think it's a great film to just kind of chill out and watch with, again, for Halloween coming up soon. Just to kind of refresh our minds a little bit into what happened in this movie. The ghouls are back kind of for their sophomore year, and we also get to meet Torlai, she was away for a year last year, but she's back to kind of wreak havoc on the ghouls. And she hates witchcraft, so remember that. Which you probably already remember that. But this is the year that the house kind of gets prefixy, and the house is alive, and it picks Torlai and Claudine to run for the prefix thing. And it's like the whole prefix thing is kind of confusing because it's like the votes are kind of by like the house, but like they're also by like the spirit of the students, and it's a thing. We'll get into that in a minute. But then once they run for prefix, Dracula also meets a vampire witch kind of combination, which is so rare because she thought she was the only vampire witch to practice witchcraft. So she was gagged. And then Frankie also has some things that they're kind of dealing with, kind of more off camera. But Frankie, I think like a week before school started, they got some sort of surgical advancements to kind of give them some monster powers. So they're kind of figuring out how to like work with like the thunder that's coming out of their arms, and it's like a whole thing. But poor Frankie. Frankie really didn't get that much screen time in this movie, and that kind of broke my heart a little bit. But like, next movie, Mal, we're gonna get Frankenstein. The plot kind of got thicker when Dracula came back late from one night of like practicing witchcraft with Ellis. And when she comes back to her dorm, there are these people who are kind of trying to steal Dracula, trying to rob something from her. We don't really know. They're just kind of breaking into the room, which I thought was really gag-worthy. Like, oh my god, Dracula is kind of sought out. But obviously, with the people kind of breaking into the Monster High, losing the power, there's like a school ban on witchcraft, which causes tension between Dracula and Claudine, because Claudine needs like the good public opinion so she can win the prefect race, so she can like help make witchcraft more accessible or more acceptable, I don't know. But then Dracula's like, I'm a witch girl, like, that's my thing. And then Dracula escapes the human world with Ellis, because Ellis is now human. He, like, revealed himself to be human. And, like, he wants Dracula to speak at this, like, convention thing to kind of end the the witch and vampire war, which has been a thing for a couple years, or thousands of years, apparently. Which is a really good opportunity for Miss Dracula, but then it kind of spirals Claudine to go save her and everything, and you kind of just, like, you remember that from now, right? Like, we remember the beginning. So, I feel like that was a really fun plot. Like, I love the whole idea. It kind of gives, like, Elf, you know, like, the Christmas movie, which I kind of lived for. I kind of like the idea of the Monster High ghouls and the gang kind of creeping onto the real world, because we only really see that in, like, the cartoon. Like, and I guess we saw it in the first part of like the real Monster High movie, like the first one, that movie. But I like the idea of like these like fish out of water kind of scenarios where they're trying to figure out the real world. We don't get too much of that, like, you know, chick flick kind of moment where it's like the ugly girl dresses up the pretty girl and they like try to do the whole exploring thing. Like, they don't really explore the human world. Heath eats hot dogs, which I thought was actually really funny. But like that's really the only like makeover is like Heath eating hot dogs. There's a lot happening in this movie. There's a lot of like off kind of screen conflicts that kind of occur. There's a lot of on-screen conflicts, but the main focus is definitely Claudine winning the race and Dracula witchcraft with a little bit of sprinkle of Torlai. which is fun. I think it was really, really cool to see Twilight back for this, movie. And I think her actor actually played the role so beyond well. Like, I think Twilight in this movie, like, I kind of grow on her, especially in G3, where I wasn't really super connected to her character at all before, even with the new episode, or, like, the older episodes, even with the dolls, like, I just wasn't connected to Twilight at all. Like, I had her doll, but ever since I watched that movie, the actress truly, truly, truly made Twilight a much more likable, much more fierce, much more, exciting character to kind of want to, interact with and have the doll and to really care about Twilight. So I really, really appreciated that kind of tad bit of Toralei as like a real thing again. But I hope that kind of makes sense. But for a while, she was just kind of like boring. Like she's just like a mean girl. Like she like hates witchcraft, like whatever. I think this kind of gave her more of an in-depth character arc, which was really, really good. And I enjoyed the new character Ellis, who was also kind of cool. He kind of bothered me in some points because like he was trying to like act all dumb, and he never really gave Draculaura a real apology. Because if y'all watch the movie, stay with me when when his mom, who was actually Hilda from Ugly Betty, that gagged me a whole lot. Like no one was gonna even tell me that was gonna be a cameo until I was watching the movie in my bed. The lights were off, and I see Hilda from Ugly Betty on the screen as this guy's mom, and I was so gagged in like the best way possible. Like I love that woman. So I was gagged with that, and then like that's his mom. But like I feel like Ellis was kind of sneaky and kind of shady, and I don't want to see him ever again. But I don't like that he like never gave Dracula a real apology. They kind of just like, okay, like peace now. Like he like yes, he saved her a little bit in the end, but like not really. Like there was 3 seconds and she would have been dead. But again, y'all know the plot. This is kind of sounds a mess because I can't summarize things at all. Like it's just it's a thing. But as I was watching the movie last night, I had some kind of points that I thought these are in the plot, but they didn't really take anywhere. They didn't really take me to the fantasy they were trying to take me, and I just kind of feel like they got kind of lost. So one of the kind of themes that was happening in the movie, like as like an off-screen kind of thing, was Deuce. He had this like side plot thing about wanting to become a more Gorgon. It was kind of like an analogy maybe for like puberty or something, where he's like kind of growing into his Gorgon self, and he has to like take this like year off from like the Monster High school to kind of find himself and like going in the woods or whatever. I don't really know what the trip is. He doesn't really talk about it that much. And I feel like this just made it so weird because when I first watched the movie, like my first watch ever, I remember like when he announced at the end, again, spoiler alert, he leaves for the next movie. When he's like announces that he's leaving to Claudine, I'm like, wait, what? Like I was just really confused because I'm like, you talked about this like maybe once or twice in the whole movie and now you're just leaving. Like it didn't really give much to be gave. I feel like we needed like one strong scene of him like singing a song about like he's not doing good enough. Like I think we saw in the beginning where like his snakes were in the cap and he was like uncomfortable, but like that's all we saw. Like I feel like it was just kind of random that he just like left, you know? Another thing that didn't really take me anywhere was Claudine being eeked or creep talk famous, eek talk, whatever that was called. She was famous and she had like a fan base for like 2 minutes in like the beginning of the movie, but at the end like that girl fell off hard. So I didn't really understand that whole like thing. I guess it was kind of like a smart way to kind of summarize what happened in the first movie, to kind of give the reader or to give the listeners or watchers or whatever kind of a time jump into the new movie. But I didn't really like, they made a whole deal about her being TikTok famous and like she was just like another girl. Like she didn't really do much, you know, like I wasn't really gagged about her being TikTok famous. But I think that's kind of just a thing for any doll media, is I don't care that the girls are like social media famous. Like it doesn't really, it never adds much to the plot ever, and it's just kind of a new kind of like sporty role, you know, like the character types when you like make a doll franchise and it's like sporty, glamorous. This one likes shoes, like whatever. It's just like another quirky trait that doesn't really ever take me anywhere. So like this one wasn't a really big contributor to that. It just didn't really take me too much places. I don't know. That I noticed was actually a lot, it was more Claudine and Deuce together, they're making an ick for me, was that like their relationship just happened. Like it literally it had no chemistry. Like it didn't really had too many interactions or screen time. So like when they kissed at the end of the movie, I was so upset because before they kissed, it was Torley and Claudine having this whole moment about how they share the same moon and they share the same scars. And it was very, very flirty, and that had a lot more chemistry than whatever Deuce and Claudine had going on. Telling me this new gay cat comes to the Monster High universe, kind of flirts with Torley throughout the whole movie, and Deuce and Claudine kiss? You're insane to me. Like, I hated that. Like, I could not. I didn't watch it. I watched this movie, like, again, multiple times, like, tens of times, and I have not sat through an entire scene of them kissing. I can't do it. It makes my body want to throw up. I know that Claudine and Deuce, or Cleo and Deuce aren't happening in G3 because I like Clanky, and that's fine. but, like, I can't see Claudine and Deuce together. It doesn't look right, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel like there's any chemistry between those two characters. I think maybe it's just because, like, I think Claudine's kind of a lesbian because of that whole, like, thing that happened a couple years ago with, like, the Garrett Sanders Instagram story. Um, I can't get into her being with a man. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. Even in G1, she never really had a boyfriend. Like, I just cannot see this woman in a relationship with a man, let alone Deuce Gorgon. Like, it just feels off, it feels icky, it feels like something I shouldn't be watching. Like, it feels like they're cheating, like, and I don't like that, but I know they're not cheating. But again, the whole relationship had no chemistry, there's nothing happening on screen. They had, like, a couple moments where they're, like, alone, and, like, he put his arm around her, but it just felt awkward. Like, the whole relationship felt so awkward and so middle school, but I guess they are high schoolers, like, whatever, but girl. I kind of noticed I didn't love was when Claudine and Draculaura, or no, when Claudine and Frankie came to rescue Draculaura, Draculaura just really never questioned anything. Like, she never really questioned the evil Hilda. I don't even know her character's name, to be honest. I'm so sorry. When I'm just gonna call her Hilda, because that's what I know her from. When Hilda, like, was, like, the mother, and, like, she's supposed to be this, like, woman of, like, whatever, they never really, like, Draculaura, like, never questioned who she was. Like, there was never any, like, okay, like, I just trust you. Like, I get that, like, whatever. But, like, she was really bothering me in that movie because, like, you really, like, left the school over this guy in Ellis. Like, mind you, Ellis said he was a vampire from the start, and then he came out to be human. You trusted a man that lied to you already. Like, that just feels, like, weird to me. And then you trust his mother, who the whole point of, like, their company is, like, they have, like, this, like, secret potion, and no one knows any of the ingredients. Why would you trust that? Like, why is that a thing? Like, I feel like you've kind of dug yourself into a hole, but I get that she's a naive vampire, whatever, and I love Miss Draculaura. But when, like, they came to get her, she was, like, very much like, no, like, this is my time to shine, which, like, obviously, like, that should be her time to, like, stop the vampire war, whatever the tea was, and create the peace. But why was Claudine trying to be like, just come back to school and, like, help me win prefect race? When Dracula, or when Claudine came, was that, like, yes, she probably was smarter of, like, trying to, like, being like, girl, what are you doing at this convention? Like, you don't even know what this convention is. Why was she trying to, like, even besides that, like, she was trying to take Draculaura's moment. Like, this is supposed to be Draculaura's moment. This is supposed to be her moment to shine, to end the war. And you were trying to have her come back to Monster High so you can win the prefect race? To get, what, caught up on biology homework. And, like, I know her reasoning was that, like, she was gonna get expelled and, like, her dad would be upset, but, like, wouldn't her dad be more proud of Draculaura if she was out of her way trying to make peace in the world? Don't you think Miss Headless Bloodgood would be like, okay, Draculaura, yes, you skipped school and you love the property, but you already did the exact same thing in the first episode, and I congratulated y'all then. So, like, it's fine, like, you can just come back to school, like, I get it, you, like, want, you, like, fix the war. You don't think they would, like, dispel Draculaura because she helped save people. You know what I mean? Like, that just kind of was like, whatever. But I still think that Draculaura should have been a little bit smarter and be like, girl, what convention is this? Like, where am I going to? Like, why are you going to put me in a room? But then also got me mad, though, because she was about to save the world or whatever, and then she, like, saw this, like, speech that Claudine gave and was like, actually, I'm just going to go back to Monster High. Like, that whole plot kind of, like, was, like, every scene in that hotel room had me so confused. Like, there was never a moment when I was in that, like, that specific setting, the specific background, where I was like, okay, any of this makes sense. But they did sing that really good song, which the songs in the musical was kind of bumping, kind of jumping. I think the first, like, album, the first soundtrack from the first movie is definitely superior. Like, you cannot beat Coming Out of the Dark. Like, that was, this is what I want. You know, like, that was, like, crazy, because, like, that was, like, Monster High coming back from, like, the dead. Of, like, after G2 when they died, this is, like, their moment to come back out of the dark. And I feel like that kind of gaggery can never be recreated, like, ever. But, like, that was just, like, the setting and the time of 2022. They're coming back. Let's gag it. Like, that was it. Like, that still, like, gives me chills a little bit. But I still think the soundtrack was good. I had three of my favorite songs. I had first favorite song, the favorite song probably for out of the whole soundtrack was Reasons We Have Magic. It is this very feisty little dance, like, and it's like a duet, and it's so good. It's a very queer-coded kind of as well, the whole song of, like, or the whole plot with Draculaura and Ellis is, like, they're witches, but they can never really feel like they are themselves, and they feel like they have to continue to, like, put themselves back in the broom closet. That's what Draculaura calls it. And I don't know, I kind of like that song. I really, like, resonated with that, and I think the sound just alone was amazing. I also really, really enjoyed My Heart Goes Boom Boom Boom. That was the first song that we kind of got from the, like, first part of the movie. Like, it was, like, really fun, upbeat song. They're all coming back to school. you know, I think the Frankie little kick fling that they did in the dancing part of that was phenomenal. It was so fun and so silly. And my last song that I like, but I don't remember ever like the title of it, so I had to write it down. It says "Gotta Get There Together," and it's really fun. It's really upbeat. It's very much teamworky. And again, these aren't like the best songs in the world, but like they're fun, they're good, they're catchy, and I listen to them in like the shower. I've actually like been playing this like album on repeat a little bit. Like it's just fun, it's silly, it's goofy, and I just really, really like that. There was one song that I hate in this soundtrack, and it's "Make Your Own Way." Oh my, that's such a bad, like, it's not like a bad song, but it's not a good song. Make your own way. Like, it sounds like it's 2D. It sounds like a mobile game app phone. Like, I can't get into that song. Again, it's a kid's movie, so it's not like the Grammy nominee, whatever, but, chop. I also feel like the fashion from this movie got a lot better from the first movie. I don't know, something about those platform mirror boots that Frankie has. I'll try to find a picture. I'll try to find a picture of these boots because they live in my mind rent-free. Like, this is like the best outfit piece in the entire world from the Monster High 2 movie. It's like these Frankie boots, and y'all, they are insane. I think a lot of the characters had a lot of good outfits. I think Frankie carried, Draculaura really cared. I think Draculaura had the best outfits from the entire movie, but that Frankie shoe is on my mind forever. I think the only person who was really lacking was like Claudine, in the weird way of, I feel like a lot of her outfits felt a lot like 2022 Claudine's outfits and didn't feel like her sophomore year outfits. I didn't really have any standout Claudine outfits truly in my brain. Again, the Frankie one is the one that really stands out to me. And also, what stands out to me is like Draculaura and that like two-piece heart set with the red hearts. It's so casual, it's so cute, but it's so Draculaura. But again, the outfits were fun. I think if I have one major critique about the movie is why aren't there any Monster High movie dolls? And that's more of a Mattel issue, because Diva, I would buy these dolls so quickly, especially those Frankie mirror boots. Like, I want those so bad. And they actually made like a little teaser of like some custom one-of-a-kind dolls that were kind of for the movie, and they're right here. I want these dolls. So if anybody has the ability to customize these dolls, send them to my house. I need them so bad. Specifically, one with Draculaura with like the makeup, because I love like the orangey kind of goldy eyeshadow that doll has, and like not the doll, but like the character has in the movie. So good. I love the makeup. The makeup was also really, really good. There wasn't any instances where I thought it was kind of gross or anything. So I liked the makeup. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fierce. I also, again, I love the storyline. I love the fish out of water thing. There was just a lot of good things about this movie. Again, some of the critiques I have are just like pet peeves of like, stop shipping Claudine and Deuce. Nobody is buying what do you call it? Like Claudeuse. No one's doing that. Like, I promise you, give Claudine and give Torlai a moment, because you're, again, like this, we share the same scars. They're dating. And like this movie actually created that ship for me, because even before this movie, there's like some of my friends who are like, Claudine and Torlai is a cute couple. It's like, whatever. But I see the vision and I understand it and I'm ready for it. So whenever we want to make that official, whenever we want to make that canon, I'm here for Toradine. Toradine's what's gonna happen, not Claudeuse. That sounds horrible. But yeah, I don't know. I like the movie. But in the comments below, though, please let me know all your thoughts and feelings about the movie if you watched it. Hopefully you have. And if you haven't watched it, I guess, what are you guys expecting from it? I don't know. Also, I completely forgot to mention this in the entire video, but what do y'all want to see from Monster High Movie 3? We got kind of a teaser at the end of the movie that maybe we're going to see something new with the Grim Reaper. I completely forgot to talk about that point as well, but the Grim Reaper, like the dead thing when Claudine almost died, like that was weird. And I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. But like when like the Creeper comes back and like is about to hunt Frankie, like let me know what y'all want to see about that part of the movie. Like if y'all want to see like the second or the third movie kind of like follow Frankie if they like die. You know, I liked the movie. I thought it was fun. But yeah, thank you guys though so much for watching today's Ghoulchat and talking with me. It was so much fun with you guys, and I cannot wait to catch y'all though in the next one. I love you all endlessly, and I'll see you very, very soon. Love you. Bye. Bye, everybody.